What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? I wanted to bring you guys a top 5 video on mids today. If you look at the mages, if you're like in the game and you click mages, there's a lot of mages or a lot of mid gods that are just bad, that are genuinely not good. So I want to put you guys on the right track to know what to play. I've got the top 5 in my opinion. I have 4 honorable mentions, which will probably cover 4 that you'll be like, why aren't they on the list? One of them I was very unsure of, one of the newer releases, and statistically she's been doing great, and the more I play against her, she's been doing great. So we'll talk about that, but for now, let's go ahead and get into this. Top 5, number 5 on my list is Kakulkin. The more time I spent playing Kakulkin, the more you realize he's just strong. He is very, very, very good. His damage output is high. One of the big things though for the overall, like the general mage build, what I've changed is I'm not going pen early, I'm going pen later. Obviously, if they are a super tanky team or the tanks are really harassing you and for whatever reason, then you can move this obsidian shard to a different slot. Your choice whether you want to put it in a 3rd or 4th slot. But I have seen a lot of success. I've seen a lot of high level mids not even build pen in games, just straight up no pen, and it's working. They're not tank killing with it. They're not burning tanks down. They're killing all the squishies around the tanks. So this is my mid mage build for Kakulkin. You heavily play around your passive, which is more power for mana, more int for mana. So you've got mana on the starter, mana on the Doom Orb, mana from Book of Thoth, mana from Polynomicon, you have mana on Rada Tahuti, and then you also have mana on Cosmic Horror. That ends up being a lot of extra power. I think it's 7% from Kakulkin's passive and then like 4% from Thoth. So you get 11% more int from your mana from items. So you're talking about 150, you're talking about another 150, so you're at 300. Well, the Book of Thoth has a lot more. I think it's close to 1,000 or something like that. Polynomicon another 200, so you're looking at, was that 500? You have another 250 for Rada Tahuti. You're looking at a bonus of almost 1,000 mana before Thoth, and then like another 1,000 or whatever it is from Thoth. That's a ton of extra power in this build. You are cooking with this much power. The downside of the entire build, in my opinion, is the lack of cooldown, which is why I have Cosmic Horror in the build. It ends up giving you 20%, which is, or 20 cooldown. It's not percent in this game. I don't really see a spot where I would force in more cooldown. You can definitely, if you drop Obsidian Shard, you can have a Spear of Desolation in this build, or if you want to go Spear of Desolation over Doom Orb, that is an option. Doom Orb is just a lot of power, and it got buffed in the last patch. The way it got buffed was Doom Orb stacks off of killing minions. 5 stacks, max stacks, right? In original Smite and originally in Smite 2, when your stacks fall off, they're gone. So if you stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it has a 10-second cooldown, they're gone. Now, you stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 seconds, it drops to 4. 10 seconds, it drops to 3. 10 seconds, it drops to 2. So the overall value of this item has spiked immensely, and I highly recommend using Doom Orb in most of your mid-mage ones. Not all of them, but most of them. So Kakulkin's my number 5 on the list. The reasoning behind that, super safe clear. Very, very good clear early. It opens up rotating a lot. The 1 is much easier to hit in Smite 2 than it was in Smite 1. Making your poly follow-ups way easier because you hit the slow, you hit the poly. Now the +1 for Kakulkin, if you still don't know, is if you're standing in a 3, so you put your 3 on the ground, you stand in it, and you press 2, you dash. It does a lot of damage too. So you have mobility now. You need to break the old habit from Smite 1 of spamming your 2 to move around because you want to make sure you have it up to dash. That's why I say Kakulkin's a big way to play late game if you're ever in a weird position, is to save your 3 to make sure you can use it to move. The main thing you need to focus on is when you're one comboing people with poly procs, you're standing in your 3. You drop your 3 on them, you stand in it. You use it for self peel, you use it for mobility, you use it for extra burst. Kakulkin is good. I've been hesitant on Kakulkin. I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of just the idea of spamming the 1, but with the mage item changes and mage just having way more power in general, way more int in general. I keep saying power, int. And then all the mana on all these good items, Kakulkin's cooking right now. I like Kakulkin a lot. So that's number 5 on my list. I wouldn't put Kakulkin higher because of the lack of CC immunity in the kit. There is none. You have a little bit of mobility, which is good, but you lack CC immunity, which is very hard to play around. That's why it's number 5. Number 4, a similar reason. Zeus is number 4 on my list. I have 2 builds here for Zeus, okay? We've got a safety build, mage safe build. It implements Jade Scepter, which is the knockback item, It no longer does the reduction of strength and intelligence. It just knocks back. But it's a lot. I think it's 105 intelligence too. I don't know why this isn't updated. It's 105 intelligence, 150 HP. So you're a little tankier with the HP, especially early. 105 intelligence is still a lot of intelligence. Then you have a safety net in the I'm gonna push anyone away from me, and it's a good knockback. It's very, very, very strong. You use this for either setup, self peel, or just buying yourself more time. I have Doom Orb in the build for the same reason as before. It's super strong item. Between these two items, you're sitting at almost 200 intelligence. Actually, you're over, sorry, almost 250 intelligence. I'm not mathing. With the early Conduit Gem and Archmages, you're over 250 intelligence, all three items. That's a lot. When we pair another high intelligence item, which is the Spear of Desolation, then we pair another high intelligence item in the Rod of Tahuti, then we pair another item in there with the Pen, and then we get a little bit more cooldown with Cosmic. You can always go Soul Reaver in the slot of Cosmic when they have a lot of HP. This build just hits very hard. There's alternatives to the build. You can play around having the double cast of your ability with, I always forget the name of the item. Can't think of the name of the item. I want to say Pendulum, but I don't mean Pendulum. One of the items lets you use your ability twice back to back, so you could double 3 and get double stuns and a lot of burst. The thing is, they changed Zeus to where your 1 is your damage. Your 1 hits insanely hard. The rest of your kit does damage and, you know, does some damage, but that 1 hits really, really hard. It's almost like OG Naja, where you play against round 1v2ing because you want the 1 to bounce. You really want to be in close to 2 people. So if you have 2 tanks diving you, an assassin and a tank diving you, 2 assassins diving you, you're in the money. You are in a very, very good spot. Highly recommend using this build if you're struggling to live. Now, if you're not really worried about living, your positioning is good, whatever, we have a Lifesteal build, which Bloodbound book did get nerfed recently, but it's still very, very strong. You can move Totem of Death to a different slot. This is a cooldown, more heavy, spammy build where you've got 2 cooldown items. You can always change Soul Reaver for Cosmic. Once again, you have cooldown with the Totem of Death, so you have even more cooldown in the build. You have good power, and you sustain off of your Bloodbound book. Popping that and throwing your kit out will keep you at full health. It's insanely good. You can also change your starter for Conduit if you want. Nothing in this is set in stone. The order, I'd say lock in these 2 first. The rest of your order is up to you. I do like earlier Rod. I do also like earlier Spear, but sometimes you just want to get that Pen and cooldown online from Totem of Death. This build allows it to sustain through tanks diving you as well. That's why the Totem of Death is earlier. You're able to turn and burn on tanks, heal through it, kill them, and then move on past them. So this build is also an option. You could also go a full int build where you drop out that scepter from the first build. Completely up to you. I like Zeus because of how threatening he is. Very unsafe. No mobility, no CC immunity. That is why you have a safe build as the main one I'm telling you to go, or a healing sustain build to keep you alive through being dove. You need to have excellent positioning to play this. You also need to use your beads very, very well. You will use your ult for self-peel, your 1 for self-peel, and your stun for self-peel. 3 of your abilities will be massive self-peel abilities. It's a harder one to pick up, but the damage output is criminal. It is extremely painful. That's why I have Zeus in my top 4. I realize this is a lot different from a lot of my tier lists. I've become enlightened a little bit in the mid lane. The more I play, the more I realize if you slow down in the mid lane and don't just W key and everything, play for positioning, a lot of these gods are very, very strong. Stronger than I gave them credit. I took a lot away from them because they aren't safe. But the big thing is engaging at the right time. So if you're playing mid correctly, that is where you'll see these gods thrive. That's number 4 on our list. Number 3, I talk about this in my video. So if you watched the video yesterday, I played this god. It's Bari. Played her in jungle with a mage build. She's been getting tweaked a lot where they're trying to get away from her third ability being just her whole kit. This Revenant Steps where she does the mini dash and it builds up her passive. You basically building full strength to play around this because it was scaling at 135%. They toned it down to like 110. Then they toned it down, I think 95 now. It might even be 85, but I think it's 95% now. The fact that they're toning that down tells me, and they're buffing int scaling on the 1 and the 2, and I think even the ultimate, they want you to play, they want int to be brought up. I haven't played it since original PTS. Original PTS, I played a bunch of int because I thought it was going to be good, and it wasn't that good. I played the int build in the video yesterday. You have to watch it. It is ridiculously strong. It almost, it's not even big, just one-shot burst damage. It's so many little numbers coming out from the double 1, triple 1, and the 2, the 3 spam, the ult ticking. It's just so much going on. that the Mage build is cooking now. It is insane. I played in the jungle, so a different starter. All these builds, you can just swap the jungle starter to a jungle starter, or swap the starter to a jungle starter, and then go these builds. I went Spear, Chronos, Poly, Rod, Obshard, Cosmic Horror. Cosmic Horror obviously can be swapped. This is a heavy cooldown item where I'm dropping 3 items on a cooldown. You can go away from the Chronos pendant and put Doom Orb here. You do not need the cooldown. I like it because when I'm in the jungle, I'm using my 1 and my 2 to clear. So I don't want to get caught with my abilities down because I'm using 2 abilities to clear. If you're 1-2ing on Bari, I think she has some of the best jungle clear in the game. Her 1 and 2, level 1 and 2 clear is mid because you probably want to take your 3 for safety. But if you don't, you go 1 and 2, like you start your 1 and your 2, your clear is nuts. And then throughout the game, your clear is very, very, very good. You have poke, you have a massive team fight ult that can save your team. It just creates a lot of pressure. You have mini mobility, but with the cooldown, you end up having a lot of spam and self peel between your 2, the stuns from your 1 and your 2 combo on your passive, and then the 3 spam. I think mid Mage Bari is being slept on. I do realize a lot of Bari is banned because of ADC build is very, very strong on her. Mage build cooks. It's being slept on, I think, just because of how often she's banned. She's safe in the mid lane. Her mid lane clear, I was talking about jungle clear. Her mid lane clear is the same for the 1-2 combo. It's very, very good. She can poke super easily. She's very hard to kill. I highly recommend playing Bari. No doubt about it. That's number 3 on our list. Number 2 is she's brand new, bro. And I was questioning her. I'm still semi-questioning her. The mid-mage build for her is basically the build you just saw. Cooldown. Because you have to have Archmage's Conduit Gem to clear. You will not clear on this guy, which is why I thought she was gonna be bad. Her early game clear is the worst early game clear in the game. If you are like Conduit versus Conduit. If both gods are going Conduit, she's the worst early game clear in the game. But she has to go it because if she has even worse clear, it's unplayable. But she's so good in the mid-late to late game that she got nerfed. Her passive, she lost 20 intelligence from her passive. She is performing, and I thought she wouldn't. I thought people would struggle with her mechanically. They're not, which is a good thing because I like Sila. I'm down for Sila to be strong. The build, like I said, you can change this. You can go Divine Ruin in here. I have Obshard. All these items are interchangeable in my mind, except for Rod and Spear of Deso. If you're killing squishies, you don't need Obshard. You can go another damage item here. If they have a ton of health, you can go Soul Reaver here. If you don't want Chronos Pendant and you want to play around a little more damage, you go Doom Orb first, Spear of Deso second. Poly is a must, Mages is a must, Rod is a must, and then in my mind, Spear is just OP in every build, so you're building it. So these items, I would not change these 2. Maybe the order of Spear, I would not change these 2 items being in the build though. Poly in the build guaranteed, and Rod in the build guaranteed. So you have an opening slot for your 2, maybe 3 items, depending on how you're looking at it. The way you're playing Sila is kill whatever is in front of you, okay? Your 1 is your self peel, your 3 is your safety net, your ult hits very, very, very hard still. Look to poke with your 2. If you're being dove a lot, hold your 1, use it to CC whatever's diving you. It is a super, you can't move. When you get rooted, you can't dash out of it, right? So you get Sila rooted, you're kind of stuck there unless you use some kind of immunity or a beads or whatever. Save the 1 if you're being dove. If you're not being dove, 1-2 spam on cooldown, rip your ult whenever you feel like it's right. Nothing has to be perfect with this god. You basically are just, if you hit a 1, throw a 2 out, poke them, slaughter them, do a lot of damage. Get used to landing the poly procs off of the 1s. They start to hit very hard as the game ramps up. And then like I said with your ult, just rip them. You don't need a last hit with your ult all the time. That ult hits very, very hard. Obviously, if you can last hit, awesome, you get the reset. Do not play around only getting resets. Play around hitting the ult the first time and then see how it goes throughout that fight every time you can. Scylla is one of my favorite gods in the game, probably top 3 favorite gods of all time in the game. So I've played a lot of her already. Outside of her early game, she is very fun. Her +1s are her 2 lingers. At max rank of the 2, it'll linger on the ground and slow. It's very, very strong. It doesn't seem like it, but if you get 1-2 comboed by Scylla and then you're stuck in the slow afterwards because you have to walk out of it, you take so much damage. It destroys tank. It is a absolute tank just destroyer. Then your 3 has a +1. Anytime you use your 3, so you throw it out and then actually dash to it, you get an in-kit poly proc. So if you have poly, your next auto is hitting for 1,000,000. Then your ultimate has a +1. Every time you hit your ultimate on a god, you get a stack, which gives you like 0.05% more damage. And then every time you kill a god, you get 3 stacks. And that's permanently scaling. You have to have your ult at max rank to get access to those stacks, though. She's a late game menace. Player. Your early game will suffer. You'll have to play around it and learn how to play around it. It's not the worst early game ever. Like, it's not unplayable. It's just significantly slower clear than most gods. And you feel it. Number 1 on my list, I think should have been nerfed years ago. It's Neath. I don't know why Neath kept getting buffed. Just infinitely buffed over and over and over and over again. So my mid-mage build is basically the standard mage build. This is like a core mage build. I think you need cooldown on Neath, but I also think you want the extra burst from archmages. So that's why we get our cooldown at a Spear of Deso and Chronos Pendant. Someone asked me the other day, how come there's no Polynomicon in this? You think, okay, I'm rooting, I can land a perfect auto. You are heavily playing around spam and not around, I'm just gonna one-shot somebody. Your ultimate in a team fight, like in an actual team fight, is fairly, I won't say irrelevant, but it's not a core part of your kit. It's way more relevant in fights going on away from you, in side lanes or just off to the side, whatever. That burst is sick. You do get a lot out of that burst, which is why Soul Reaver's in the build. You could always swap out Soul Reaver for more cooldown. But the Chronos Pendant and the Spear of Deso allows you to just 1-2 over and over again. And then the big thing, if you don't know Neath's combo in Smite 2, it is not the same as Smite 1. In Smite 1, you would 2 at them and then 1 them on top of the 2 to do a ton of damage. And that was your burst. Now your kit is throw your 1 out to the rooted, 2 them, you get 2 weaves from that, and then you 3 and you blow up all the weaves and you're good to go. It's an insane amount of damage. It's unavoidable. It's ridiculous. Now, since that's the combo, if you're 3ing as part of your combo, you don't want to get caught out with your 3 on cooldown because you will die. So that's why we throw in an extra cooldown item in the Chronos Pendant and maybe even the Cosmic if you need it, to make sure anytime you're doing that full combo, you're not just dying after it over and over again. Now, you do not have to full combo every time you engage on somebody. Sometimes, especially later in the match, you need to save your 3 so you're not just dying on cooldown. But Neath has insane clear, insane pressure. She can run into the jungle and clear perfectly, and then she's in every team fight because of her ultimate. Even if you suck at rotating, you are part of every team fight, as long as you are paying attention to the mini-map and your team's health and what's going on. Neath should have been nerfed. I don't know why she keeps getting buffed. I don't know why people are underperforming on her. I believe it's because they don't know the combo for Smite 2. Every time I've coached somebody or been spectating somebody playing Neath, they're doing the Smite 1 combo. Swap over to the Smite 2 combo. 1, 2, 3. Very simple. Use your first ability, your second ability, your third ability. People get 1 shot. Squishy gods get 1 shot from that combo. Have fun. Good luck. It's a blast. My honorable mentions. I've got 4 of them. I'll cover some of them a little bit more than others. Number 1 on my honorable mentions is Mage Kali. I think it is heavily just slept on. I don't think people realize how good it is. With Archmage's Gem and your 2 on Kali, this is Mage build. This is an aspect build. This is just playing a Mage build with normal Kali. With Archmages or Conduit Gem and your 2 at like, I think it's level 3 with your 2 at rank 2, level 3. So you wouldn't level one of your abilities if you want to clear. You'll full clear the wave. If you want to wait till level 4, that's fine. You know, you're trying to be safe. You want all 3 of your abilities, that's fine. You will full clear waves early, very early. Then we pair this with a lot of power, with cooldown so we can spam, with Polynomicon so we one-shot off of our stun combos. That's where the real damage comes in. You do not have to go Ob Shard in this build because it's so easy for you to blink or just jump on top of squishies. If you are capable and you are playing around just killing squishies, drop the Ob Shard from the build. Go Chronos Pendant or any kind of cooldown that you're really feeling. I don't know why I can't think of the item. Let me see. I want to look at the item real quick. There's an item, a mage item that gives you a reset on an ability. I thought, oh, it's Staff of Mirrodin. Staff of Mirrodin lets you reset on an ability. So that could be an item you throw into builds that are very specific to the way you're playing. So if you were to put Staff of Mirrodin in this slot, you could double 3, which is a lot of burst. So you can basically jump on somebody 2, auto 3 them, auto 3 them again. You get double stuns, they're locked down, you get multiple poly procs. It's really good. And it has cooldown on it. If you are just diving squishies, I think that is a completely viable comp. You can always go a defensive item in this slot, like the Cersei's Hexstone. I talked about in a video the other day, how good it is. Your build is open. And then if you are killing tanks, maintain the Ob Shard, that's fine. You can always pick up other items wherever you need them. This is very slept on. I have it at like a number 6, 7 slot. I think it's probably one of the only late game mages that is safe and rivals Sila. Most of the late game mages might do similar damage. Like Vulcan can pump out a ton of damage, but he's not safe at all. Kali has the death immunity from her ultimate. She's got CC, a stun. She has a leap. She's a little bit safer than a lot of these other mages. She's very, very, very good. Different playstyle too. It's a lot of fun. Next on my honorable mentions, Merlin. The aspect I still think is better. This is just a general mage build. The aspect Merlin build is here. You don't have to go this build. This build can be altered so much. The only item you have to have in this build, this is also, I would update this. I have this reverse ordered from one item before items were changed. I'll even edit it right now just so you guys can see. So I would definitely go World Stone here. The reason for that, I would also change my starter. The reason for this, can I change this? Yes, I can. The reason for this is when you're in aspect, you play around your ultimate. That's it. You just spam ultimate. Your ultimate resets whatever abilities come up. So if you press your ultimate, your next abilities are ready to be used. With World Stone, your ultimate is on like an 8 or 9 second cooldown. So then as you get later in the game, you do build a little, you get Spirit Death, so other items, you get a little bit more cooldown. So that ult cooldown comes down. You don't care about your abilities cooldowns because you're always ult swapping, right? You're just spamming that ultimate. So I'd go Spear here. Then it's whatever really makes you happy. I would probably look at going Arata Tahuti. Obsidian Shard is very good. Very, very, very good. You also could just look at getting the Doom Orb here. You could also look at getting the Doom Orb here. You have a ton of options. It's mainly the World Stone early that makes the difference. I think if I was gonna go a build, this is exactly what I'd be looking at for Merlin. Once again, Pen can be swapped into this earlier slot very, very easily. I'd go Obsidian Shard. You don't need the Totem of Death. Totem of Death is good, but you don't need it. You want that instant pen, in my opinion. And then you could look at Cosmic or you get Soul Reaver. You're probably going to get Soul Reaver in a lot of these builds. Now, once again, with the Mage build, they can always change to whatever feels right. Okay. Bloodbound Book in this build will also do a ridiculous amount. You can go Bloodbound Book over the Doom Orb, or you can go Bloodbound Book over the Spear. I will throw that in here as well. Bloodbound Book is cracked. It keeps you alive when you're being dove. Merlin has a little more mobility than some mages, not a ton of mobility. No CC immunity, no hard CC in the kit outside of the little knockup from the ultimate. I think Bloodbound Book, if you're using it correctly, if you are being dove / need to sustain through being jumped on. So that is how I would, play this and when I would build this. And this would be the build I'd be looking at if I was playing Aspect Merlin. I didn't realize that wasn't updated. That's my bad. So that's another honorable mention to me. It's good. I don't think it's as good as some of those other mages or as consistent. It's also a little bit harder to play with a little bit less reward, is how I look at it. I think Agni Aspect is still cracked. That's the auto attack build. They nerfed it, so crit no longer gives you 2 stacks of the passive in the aspect. Crit is still king. You don't have to go crit, but crit is definitely still king. So I'd be going this normal aspect crit AA build. Mage Agni is playable. Play the cooldown build if you're gonna do it. You need a lot of cooldown. Play this build that is right here. And then my last honorable mention is Anubis. I think Anubis stinks, but somehow it's winning. I think it's just winning in lower end games. So I want to tell the lower end players, hey, you're in bronze, silver, gold, plat. Anubis is killing it. It's mainly the Bloodbound Book that's doing it. Bloodbound Book was just nerfed, and then Anubis' sustain and his passive was nerfed. I played against it yesterday. It's still strong. It's still playable. Still very good. Build can change however you want it. I think you do not need Conduit. You want cooldown. You want to be a spam bot essentially when you play this. You want to be able to ult twice in a team fight if the stars align. Totem of Death can be moved with Spear. Outside of that, this is probably the build I'm looking at where Soul Reaver is swapped out for Cosmic Horror whenever you don't have to kill someone with a lot of HP. Even if gods only have a little bit of HP, Soul Reaver still does good damage. It does more than Signet, which is weird, right? Like if you're killing a squishy, Soul Reaver is more valuable than Signet. Kind of strange, but it is what it is. And yeah, here's the build. Similar build to Zeus, basically the Zeus build. That is my top 5 mid mages with 4 honorable mentions. So maybe, just maybe, you all don't rage at me for this. I hope it helps. I hope you guys are winning your games. Let me know what you guys think. What would your top 5s be in your order? I'm very interested to hear. Thank you for watching the videos. Hit the like button if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the video tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.